Welcome to the shit show.
Tom, you look perplexed. If anybody is listening on the podcast and you're wondering why I'm discussing Tom's appearance, I want to let you know that you could have watched this live. You could have seen it live like we do every week. Thursday nights right here on YouTube. Check us out. All the links you should need to find us are at www.allelitewrapup.com. Tom, how are you?
I'm good. I was looking at things for to talk about for the wrestling, and I go on Blue Sky, and apparently there's discussion about the main event because there was a spot where Kyle Fletcher acted as if he was riding Hangman,
Yes.
and then Hangman was like, "Hey, what the fuck?" and then took his legs out from underneath him and then smacked him on the ass. And then people are like, "Hey, just so you know, WWE's a MAGA company." And it's like, yeah, I don't think that, like,
What was
if
that?
my
What's
wa-
the connection, I guess?
yeah, because like if my wife did that, I would be mad. It's not the fact that a guy did it to another guy. It's the I'm riding you like a horse. Now, again, you could say, ooh, and if you do say that, go fuck yourself. But a heel doing that to a baby face who then gets mad,
Well, and he's a cowboy.
yeah.
So
I
you're
thought that
fucking
was,
with him, cowboy.
yeah, that's the reaction you want to have sometimes. Here, let's start with this quick tangent, and then we'll get into AEW. Here's a quick tangent. Sometimes me, you, all of us, just need to shut the fuck up, right? Like, I get that sometimes you think, hey, I need to stand up because this person or account or whatever is being exophobic, right? Whatever it is, fill in the blankophobic, right?
Exophobic.
Yeah. And which is a fear of Twitter, which could be a real thing.
This
I just
would
made
be
that
a
up.
Great name for an episode if we were still naming episodes.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Fill in the blankophobic.
Yeah. But sometimes shut the fuck up. Now maybe I'm missing something, right? Maybe there's 166 quote tweets to this. There's 153 reposts or all the fucking whatever the shit, there's a lot of things. So maybe I'm missing something here, but I'm looking through and a lot of it's like, yeah, WWE's fucking blah, 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 blah. And it's like, yeah, no, we know.
Look, I don't know. And again, like everybody's reactions are different. Everybody's perspectives are different, but I didn't take anything weird from that spot. Like, I guess I'm missing something. I don't know.
Well, I think they're trying to say a guy riding another guy. Ew, isn't that gross? And it's like, again, if you have that reaction, yeah, go fuck yourself.
Oh, you're saying that was their booking ploy, was to hope to elicit the reaction that he would be upset that like a guy's riding me like that as though it's a sexual manner or something.
Right.
No, I thought it was mocking.
Yeah, that's what I
horsey
thought.
Man cowboy.
Yeah.
And then in fact, Hangman spanked him. Like if anything.
Right. Yeah. And so, but what I was getting at there is like, we don't always need to respond. Because one thing that gets exhausting is from people I actually enjoy their commentary and their opinions. I do. But sometimes it's like, oh, Nick Khan says another thing. Who cares? Why? Who cares? Like, and even saying, oh, Nick Khan said something again. Who cares? Stop that. Just stop it.
Yeah, but you sent me something where Nick Khan said he doesn't hire people who use out of office reports.
Well, that's a bigger point to just a dumb fuckery. Like, that's not
brother.
unique.
First of all right, so I broke this down to you a little bit, and then I discussed it with my wife, and I have another point that I want to bring up.
Yeah, well, my point of saying that to you is not necessarily unique to WWE. There's a lot of fucking companies that are always on the grind. If you're taking days off for sick, that was my point. Not that Nick Khan was doing something.
Derek 83 says, 2 guys, what's more manly than that? I mean, yeah.
Manliest
back
podcast.
to the Kyle Fletcher and the stuff, like, man riding another man is manly. Is all as far
well,
as
if anything, tag team wrestling's gay because it should be a man and a woman like God intended. So I don't know why no one's calling that out on the right,
Yeah.
huh? You
Yeah.
know,
Thou shalt
men
not
and
tag with another man, or I think is what it
yeah,
said in
yeah,
Clasidius 4:13, right?
yeah. Hot tag
Yeah.
386. Yeah, that's what it was in the hot tag
Yeah.
book.
So, back to this Nick Khan saying we don't hire people. He says we don't hire people who's out of office. Just if you see me message you, send me a message saying I'm out of office. Should we talk now? No, motherfucker. The out of office is that we should not talk now is one thing, right? That's the point, right? Another thing to him is you must not get as many fucking emails as I get. Like, you know how many emails daily I get about all the various projects and shit? Like, that's the point of it, is so they know, oh shit, he's out today, right? And we'll wait for him to be back whenever it fucking says he'll be back. Mm-hmm. And my point to you was, okay, that's a weird rule you've got. Are you telling applicants this? Because, like, it's such a standard, normal thing that we do. They put it in the programs to be efficient. But my other point that I want to bring up now is you're just fucking lying here. You don't know that they use out-of-office replies when you're fucking hiring them. You find this out later. Are you telling me you fire people for using out-of-office replies? Because, like, what are you talking about? I don't hire people. Is that a question you ask in an interview like an idiot? I don't believe you. I think you're just trying to, like you say, act like, listen to how grindcore I am.
Yeah.
I work, because I'm the best.
Yeah.
I'm the gettingest, right? I get after it more than you do. It's like, Jesus Christ, dog, miss me with that.
Yeah.
Go live a life and maybe you won't be this weird.
Well, that's the thing. I think he also thinks two things. One, it's a what do they call it, a dog whistle or to a certain group.
That's it,
yeah, to a certain group, right? Hey, we want you, Joe Rogan fan, right? Like that's who we're wanting, not
loyalty.
Yeah,
loyalty to the grind. Yeah,
yeah, not big brain fucking people like myself. You're calling for the same motherfuckers that get excited for Fast and Furious movies. Like those are the fucking people you want to apply. And then, yeah, of course, they would probably ask that during the, interview process. But then the third thing is what I was going to say as far as like the you reply thing. Yeah, because no one likes you, Nick Khan. That's why. Because you reply when your wife is giving birth that, oh, brother, I'll be done here in an hour. And then we'll get on that Zoom call. Like
the whole thing, too, is it just screams of like, again, look, I understand in some corporate cultures, like a boss is a boss and you have to answer the boss. But like the idea that like you think of the response from somebody should be is, hey, I'm out of the office right now. Do we need to talk right now? That means you think that like you could say, yes, we need to talk right now. I'm taking control of your personal time.
Yeah, right. Yeah, or hey, you know what? I don't have my out of office on, and I will probably reply to you on Tuesday. Today's Thursday, but I'll reply to you on Tuesday. Oh, you didn't know I was out? Well, I wish you could have, because I would have had my out of office on. But old whistle dick Nick Khan thinks that you shouldn't have that as a thing. So anyhow,
exactly.
But what I was getting at, going back to the whole thing, we're AEW, right? Like it's a smarter fan. It's a more well-adjusted fan in this niche subgenre. We don't need to talk to the kissing cousin knuckle draggers that like, they said another thing. Oh, it's AEW pay-per-view week. They don't like us again. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Did you see Ricochet?
Yeah.
About WWE marks.
Yeah. And it's just like, we can just not say anything. Cause I get it, right? Like that's what they want. It is what they want. And also, isn't it exhausting to just write something? Right? Like, isn't it exhausting? We can pick our battles better too.
Yeah, why get your anxiety up?
Well, and just pick it when it really matters. Because if you cry wolf on every single thing that the dumb shits do, by the time you're like, no, this really means something to me, it's lost its fucking whole validity because you kept calling wolf on all these other things. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it goes back to like in dating. I use this analogy a lot when people do too much of the same thing. It's like dating. If you go on a date and on every first date, you give the girl a rose, right? You're like, hey, rose, right? Some of those dates, you're like, I don't really fucking care. We're just going to, see where it goes, right? But then there could be one where you're like, oh, this is my girl or guy. I can't wait. Here's a rose. And then that person knows every first date you give a fucking rose. So when you're like, it's a rose, they're like, yeah, I know. And so like, that's when you got to save that shit for when it really fucking matters.
So, I know, just triggered an off topic. And we'll get into this. The show's about us. We've talked about this. We're going to talk about AEW Dynamite.
Yeah.
If you hate talking about us, the podcast is for you. You can fast forward to the rest of the talk. You're not built for the live stream, damn it. In Germany, this is over a decade ago, and we're at a bar, and we get this talking with somebody, right? It's an American over there that's serving with us over there, but she said something. She was like, "Yeah, man, you're just an asshole." And I was like, "Yeah, I know." And she elbows the person next to her, and this girl turns around, and it's the girl that's dating my best friend at the time. And she was like, "This guy's an asshole." And that girl goes, "Yeah, I know." And she looks at me back. She was like, "What the fuck?" And I was like, that's not fair, right? Like, that's, you know what I mean? That's best friend's girlfriend, you know what I mean? And then so she taps the other girl next to her, and this is the girl that I had a bad experience with from a couple months back. And she goes, "He's an asshole." And she goes, "Yeah, I know." And then she turns back, she's like, "Can I do this to every fucking woman in this goddamn club right now?" And I was like, I don't know. I guess
let's give it a shot. Let's have you introduce me to all the women in this bar.
That's true. Yeah. Yeah. Why don't you tell every girl here that I'm an asshole and see how bad that goes for me? Yeah.
Or just like, hey, one of them will probably say, "I bet not." And then there's a good introduction.
I know. That's what I'm saying. Like, yeah, you tell every girl in here I'm an asshole. Let's see if that really turns out bad for me. Let's see.
Yeah. Yeah. There you go. Yeah. So, where were we?
AEW Dynamite happened.
Yeah, there you go.
But people do not suck on AEW Dynamite, and they did not in this crowd. This crowd was hyped last night at the it was the granddaddy of them all.
Yeah, the Chartway Arena in Norfolk, Virginia.
Correct, the granddaddy of them all. How
granddaddy of them all. Virginia is for lovers, which I never really understood why that got popular and what that even means.
Sounds a little creepy.
It just doesn't make, like, I don't know.
It's like if I was like, "Hey, Tom, you want to come over to my house next weekend? By the way, my house is for lovers."
I'm like, with lovers of what? Pizza? Like, what is it? Like, lovers of hate?
Yes. We love all types, Tom. We'll say that.
Lovers of hate.
Come on over. We just contradiction. We love hate. We
love hate. We love all of it. It's for lovers. If you got to love, you come here and express it. Racism, homophobia, pro wrestling, science, whatever it is.
Yeah, get over here.
Whatever it is. Hey, all right. So last night kicked off with an all-star 8-man tag team match with the international champion Kenny Omega, Mark Briscoe, Speedball Mike Bailey, and Kevin Knight taking on the EVPs of the Young Bucks, the Continental Champion Okada, and Ricochet. That's a lot of star power.
It's a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. And with this, I don't think AEW can do this match wrong, because so many of these guys come from, we worked together on the Independence in Venice, California, or, wherever, right? San Diego, Sacramento, Vegas, all that West Coast kind of stuff. Well, no, it's typically West Coast guys, right? Like, it's all like
I
those.
See what you're saying, right? Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so they've been doing this shit for 15 years almost. So I don't feel like they can do this match bad. And here was another example of just fun.
Oh yeah, this was a Young Buck style match, right? This was a very choreographed, right? We got all the spots, we got the flips, we got the whirly doos, right?
PWG, that's what I was trying to think of.
Yes.
Remember it was a Pro Wrestling Guerrilla. It was very, very much a PWG type match. But did you like the spot where Matthew Jackson gave his hair to Ricochet so that Ricochet could brush it out of his face? That was fun.
We got a lot of bald, as I've started noticing, we'll get to later where there's some references to bald people.
Yeah.
A lot of bald folks for us to be singling out Ricochet as just like, let's make fun of him because he's bald, when like there's like 10 guys walking around that are bald in significant spots on TV.
Yeah, I mean, on the other team, Mark Briscoe is bald. Like, you know what I mean? I don't get
Nick
it.
Jackson's going bald. Like,
right. And they
did some work there. They got some hair plugs or something going on, right? He looks less bald since they've done that.
Yeah, good. If that's what
Yeah, of
you're
course.
insecure about, fucking good.
Yeah, of
Fine.
course. Well, if
Whatever.
you got young in your name, you gotta. It's almost it
That's
comes
the
with the
way.
territory. You've got to.
Well, we've talked about it. They should go by EVPs.
Yep.
Just go by the EVPs.
Yep.
Fucking get the Young Bucks thing
I
out
like
of
this
here.
founding fathers of AEW
Yeah.
moniker. Yeah.
You're right. Yeah, do that. Yeah, that would even be a good one too. But you can't. Well, timeout. You couldn't really go too far into that because when you talk about fathers, you talk about Christian.
Well, yeah. Then you could get a nice little
Yeah,
crossover.
you know
There.
what
Be
I
like,
mean? Right.
excuse me,
Yeah. Excuse me. What?
founding.
You
What
know.
did you find? What did you
Yeah.
found?
Me and Copeland were the ones who inspired
Yeah.
you. So really, we're the founding
I
fathers
think
of
we
this.
found you sitting in the seats when we were fucking
Yeah,
tearing down the house in the Tokyo Dome or whatever the fuck.
And so yeah, this was good. I think the whole match was built around will Omega and Okada actually wrestle each other? And they teased it for a while, but then eventually we got there, right? We got the punches, we got the kicks, punch, punch, kick, kick, kick. But we end up with the bad guys, the EVPs, Okada and Ricochet picking up the victory as Okada hit his finisher one time, because that's how it should be. It's called a finisher for a reason, on Mark Briscoe, and he picks up the victory. So what'd you think of the whole match itself, the punches, the kicks, this whole thing about Omega and Okada? When will they actually fight? What'd you think of all of it?
We've done this a couple times now with the 8-man tag here, right, on Dynamite now. It is a good way to get a lot of folks in. I do see the benefits of it, especially if you're just having a match for match sake, right? And you get these kind of folks in here. So I didn't hate that. I do notice, the Omega Okada showdown. I think that does stick out. I do think we're going there, obviously, right? You don't do this by accident. This isn't just these guys saying like, let's do this cool thing. But the question becomes, is this the rumored, desired, begged for unification of the Continental and International Championships?
I definitely think so. The only thing that I'm curious about is there's a pay-per-view for the Texas one. So what are we going to do for both those guys in Phoenix or Scottsdale, whatever
I think
it is,
maybe you
Arizona.
do it there and then you rematch it in Texas for the unified title.
I wouldn't do that just because they're a little bit older, and I feel like you might. Yeah, you don't know if you're going to get and you want to save it for the biggest of the biggest things.
How many races we got left in these horses?
Right, exactly. So I would say you could do Kenny Omega versus Ricochet, right? Because Ricochet still wants a championship. And then for Okada, have him take on Kevin Knight.
Or what you do is you get them into a match, but they're just like, the titles aren't even, this isn't about titles, this is you and me. And then it comes to some weird bloody draw, right?
Yeah.
And then it's like, you know what? Now I do want your title, right? Now I want to fucking take something from you. Be like, you want my title? You better put yours on the line. And then it's.
One other thing I was thinking about with this matchup is if we're not going to get Jack Perry back, which stinks, it feels like I don't know where that guy is just gone.
Leaving or anything, right?
I don't think so, but his girlfriend is back. Anna Jay's back.
Yeah.
But if we're not getting him back, or if we're maybe saving him.
Go to WWE, could he? While CM Punk is there? Like,
no. But if we're waiting for him to do something maybe at a pay-per-view, maybe a Double or Nothing, or at the All In show, in the meantime, why don't we just put Ricochet in that spot? Ricochet fits with these guys. With Okada and the EVPs, like, that's a hand in glove kind of fit with the just douchebag. I wear a backwards hat, even though I'm indoors and I don't need to, you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't make any sense.
Wearing a backwards ball cap in my suit, and I'm not at the draft, right? Getting drafted.
Right. Yeah.
Tom, I think you hit on something. I think people hearing us right now, if you're at the next AEW event, you need a sign that says, "Where's Jack Perry?" We need this to start spreading. Where is the scapegoat?
My gut says that this is just a gut feeling. Nothing. I have no information. As anyone who's listened to this long enough knows, I don't like the spoilers because it's so stupid. Why do you want to spoil something? So dumb. Why? Guess what? I know the finish. Why? Why would you then watch it? Idiots. I I think the EVPs are going to have a big match, maybe with the Hurt Syndicate, for something at the Texas show. And then that's when Jack Perry is like, guess what? I'm back. We got the titles. We got all the power. Bop, 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 bop. Suck it. You know what I mean?
What does he show? Does he like just show up, or has he got it? Like the last couple times he's had it on, like he had that mask on.
Yeah, I think it's something like that at Dynasty. Yeah, yeah. Remember when we called it? I was like, there he is. That's him.
It was a Sting mask there, right?
The Sting mask. Yeah.
Yeah, because you saw it, you were like, look, and where he was walking, you were like, nope, no, nobody would be there. Like nobody would be there. Yep, you're like, that's him.
That is totally him. Yep. And it was a Sting mask. Like that's become a pro wrestling like gag now. If like you know, if you want to,
right? Yeah,
it's Sting. You want to sneak up on someone, wear a Sting mask.
If you have no other thing, like if you don't have like MJF and the Devil mask, if you don't have a thing already gimmicked up, and you just need a mask, go get a Sting mask.
Yep, 100%. All right, so after they won their match, we go backstage, and the Hurt Syndicate are walking into the arena, and some dorks are just like, "We hurt people, we hurt people."
We didn't explain who those dorks were either. Nope. They're backstage, so they had to be, you know. But
well, what'd be funny because I still don't know what we're doing with them, right? Because they beat up these nerds backstage, right? But we're still doing the like, but we're cool, so don't you kind of like us thing? I think it would have been funny if later in the night when the Hurt Syndicate come out, they're introduced by Tony Schiavone. They come into the ring and Tony Schiavone goes, just want to let you know, that little stunt you pulled, those were VIP ticket buying people, so you owe them a lot of money right now. Like we're in a bad spot. And then
Tony Khan wants to talk to you because they paid whatever. Now he had to refund them, and he wants to have a discussion about an MVP. Can be like, he can have like Shelton and Bobby looking at him like, dude, what the hell? And he's like, I got it. Then he's gonna be like, Tony, you didn't fucking tell me that on the goddamn microphone now.
We'll get to it, but let's just fast forward real quick. Because you know what? Actually, that would have been cool to do. Then if MJF comes out and was like, hey, I've known Tony Khan since day one. I'll take care of that for you. You put me in the Hurt Syndicate. I'll get this little fiasco that you pulled.
Be like, Tony Khan's my bitch. He does whatever I need. He knows that he's got to keep the biggest star around.
Mm-hmm. I mean, remember the voiceover that he left for MJF at the All Out 2022? You know? So that would have been fun. But anyhow, in this, they beat up some people. Again, I think it would have been funny if they were VIP fans.
They could have at least said, like, here's some local talent who are excited to meet them. But
nope. They just beat up some people.
Poor bastards. But they deserved every bit of that beatdown. If we're in the kayfabe world, like, you nerds, what are you like?
Yeah. You don't sing at another person.
Not backstage, like, and that's it. In a crowd.
Yes. Crowd.
There has to be several hundred to thousands of people before you can start singing at a person.
Yes.
Right?
That is a rule. Yeah, that should be a rule of society. You don't sing.
It's awkward otherwise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Caroling might be the exception, right? But it's still awkward.
That's
right?
the worst.
It's awkward.
Shut the door.
Yeah.
Nope.
Get out of here.
Somewhere else. Yeah, you dumb fuck.
Tomatoes. Boo!
Yeah. Boo! Fuck Santa. Man, did you probably went to a number of house parties when you were younger. Do you remember the local rapper who was always going to make it, who always had to rap at the house parties? And was that you?
Yeah. No, it wasn't me. No. I know.
God.
No, I know the guy. He didn't start really rapping till after I was gone, though, right?
God.
He always wrote, right? Mm-hmm. And then I looked later on like the MySpace days. I was catching. I was like, whatever happened to this guy? Got a rap name too, and I was like, nope, no.
You haven't left your hometown, huh? General manager of the local Quick Trip. That guy. I remember actually speaking about that.
CBD shop, actually. I think.
Yeah, close enough. Yeah. I actually remember one guy at a house party when I was a sophomore in college heard that I worked at a radio station. So he put in his CD, which that tells you how long ago this was, puts in his CD of an instrumental track, which no one wanted in there. And he just like just dead in the face looks at me and he's rapping this entire time, not knowing that I work at a AAA format. And if no one knows what AAA format is, that's like Jack Johnson and Bob Dylan. And I had to tell him that afterwards. So he's like, da da ba da da da. And he's like, what do you think? I was like, I don't think Bob Dylan would ever do that. And he's like, what? I was like, that's the kind of music we play. So sorry.
And like, also, like in whatever year this was happening, Tom, even whatever 2000 whatever for you here,
6.
That's not how radio worked.
You
could find the goddamn program director of the entire fucking building. He can't put you the fuck on air. It ain't up to him.
Well, it was for us. Well, yes, but it was for us because, oh, dude, did I ever tell you those?
There's some levels, I guess. They have some play here.
This was a college radio station.
But it ain't like, like you're not.
Yeah. But,
well, I had people. We were 101 The Fox and that whole stuff. Like, we're doing van hits. Guy comes up and he's like, handing me a mixtape. I'm like, brother, nobody can get this on the air at any one of these stations for you.
Yeah.
You get fired if they play this.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Get out of here.
Man, we would do Monday mornings. Me and the program director, his name's John Hart, fucking amazing radio guy. And we would go through CDs that would get sent to us. We get probably 50 to 75 CDs sent to us a week. And he would just be like, dumb name, not doing this, all this stuff. And then we would take like 30 and we would listen to 30 songs. Not all of them, right? We would kind of like, nope, this is fucking dumb, right? And then we would take those 10 and then we would take it to the group because we had like a group of like 15. And then from there, we would take the 5 songs and add it each week. It was so much fun.
So when I'm there, and again, this is like 2013, 12, 11, 10, something like that. A guy, he handed me that CD too. As I thought about it, I was like, brother, there's a CD slot at the radio station, but that's because the equipment's old. Like, we don't do that anymore. Like,
that ain't a thing anymore. Yeah. Yeah. By that time, the iPod and all that shit was a thing. So yeah.
It was all digital. It's like, I don't even know how to play a fucking CD, man.
What is this fucking thing? Yeah.
Get out of here.
Anyhow, nerds. So
nerds get beat up, but that was fun. We beat up some nerds. The one poor bastard gets thrown into the fucking linen box or whatever, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes I'm like, do they know what they're about to go through?
I don't, sometimes probably yes, and sometimes probably no.
Felt like no last night. That's for sure. Sorry. We get
like
back
Bobby was like, look at this guy. Look what I can do with him.
Yeah. This is so much fun. It's like a toy.
Looked heavier than this. I'm really surprised.
So we get back into the ring. It's a trios match. It's our trios champs. Mm-hmm. It's the Ops, Shibata, Samoa Joe, Paris Hobbs, taking on Rhett Titus, Miles Hawkins, and Nick Camarado.
And Nick Camarado.
The thing I always think about with Nick Camarado is there's a video that AEW did where they're like, it's the unpickable, like, I don't know, dumbbell or whatever it was. And like, no one could pick this thing up and like put it into like,
oh yeah, I remember this.
A carrying, right? And like Wardlow's trying, Mark Henry's trying, Big Show's trying. The only fucking guy to get it was Nick Camarado. And I was like, why aren't we doing that with him? Just do that.
The thing that I always remember is when we were in Chicago before we're all out, and we were doing that event before the show, right? Outside, right? Where they had like a kind of like carnival festival thing going on, right? Mm-hmm. He was out there having freshly done the dunk tank and walked by us, and you were like, Jesus, look at the fucking steroid use evidence on his back.
Mm-hmm. No,
I was like, wow, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, he had like a cobblestone on his back.
Yeah, he looked like a fucking turtle shell. Like,
yeah,
it was bad. It was bad.
But he looked even worse in this match because Joe and Shibata and Powers Hobbs, they kicked their ass. Here's the thing I want to talk to you about, though. And maybe I'm reading into this more because I want something to happen, so I fantasy booked it, so it has to go my way because my thoughts are the best. But have you noticed?
You do think that way, though.
But yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, because it's true. Right? Yeah. Yeah. I also think
we just don't go around tweeting about it and shit.
Yeah. Well, because some things are just fact, right? The sun's hot. I don't have to tell you that the sun's hot every day. You just know it. So it's like everyone knows, you know?
Yeah.
But sometimes there's a fact that comes out like, did you know the sun was actually 10,000? You're like, wow, that is hot. Like, exactly. So just like, it's like my ideas.
Tom,
anyhow,
I learned an interesting fact today that is going to piss you off. Remember last week when we were talking about vanilla ice cream.
Mm-hmm.
And you said if you ask people what's their favorite flavor, it's never vanilla. You know what the actual number of people who say vanilla is their favorite flavor is? 59% of people, Tom. I was like,
what people?
fuck?
Hold on. Are these the same motherfuckers who said that Hillary was going to beat Trump in the election?
This is the first thing I said when my wife said that to me, because I was relaying some. I was like, well, no, it says vanilla. And she was like, oh, you think that? But in grad school, this was a thing they had them go through because they were like, no, because you have to do your market research because everybody believes that nobody likes vanilla.
I'm not saying no one dislikes vanilla.
No, I know, but like, yeah. No, but they say, yeah. And I was like, I want to see this study. I want to see the sample size.
I want to ask the fucking question. I'm going to start asking that question.
But I said, well, this explains Trump. And
how was it asked, right? Was it some good looking person that made other people nervous, and so the only thing they could think of was vanilla, right?
I'm with Vanilla Ink.
Yeah, like, oh God, you're so pretty, vanilla. Yeah. Or was it someone wearing white clothing and then asked them, what's your favorite thing?
Was this Big Vanilla? The Big Vanilla influenced this?
Big Vanilla. I see.
This is all, yeah.
Yeah.
This is classic Big Vanilla.
Because here's the other thing too. People always ask Coke and Pepsi. Hey, what's your favorite, Coke or Pepsi? You know what the second best or most sold drink is? It's Sprite. No one even fucking likes Pepsi. It's third or fourth now, right? So stop with this like, oh, it's vanilla. You're only giving me 3 options. That's the other. How was it phrased? What's your favorite ice cream? Is it vanilla? Is it chocolate? Is it? And
yeah,
then
if you were given 2 options, then 59% of people picking maybe vanilla over chocolate. Maybe I can see that.
Yeah, but like, and also, if you're only saying like a vanilla or chocolate, then someone's gonna be like, I just want either out of this situation or I'm too nervous to answer. So I heard you say this, so
Listen,
I'll say
you
that.
promised me $10 for this. Can I just say
vanilla? Yeah, whatever. I'm done. Yeah, I don't believe
fucking
it.
nerds.
Yeah, no one likes vanilla like that. No one.
As soon as she told me that, I was like, I don't believe that. And she was like, hey, Google, right? And asked the Google, and this thing came up, and I was like, I'm telling Tom this tonight. It's gonna piss him.
Yeah, and don't ask Google. Go to DuckDuckGo. Fucking get out of here with Google.
That's true.
Yeah.
Get on an onion router and get on the WikiLeaks and let's find out.
Yeah. No, actually, do you know what DuckDuckGo is? Have I told you about
this?
No,
I do. Yeah. No.
Oh,
yeah.
No,
I use it frequently.
Use that. Yeah, use that. Don't be using the fucking Google.
That is the default search on the onion router, as a matter of fact.
I like it. I use Brave as my web browser too.
Gotcha.
Because I'm brave. I'm a brave person. Okay,
Vanilla
going back
is
to
a great base for Sundays, says Darren K83.
Look, I didn't say it was bad. I'm not saying that this was, chocolate mint, right? That's fucking trash. If you like chocolate mint, I kind of hope you stub your toe.
I've always said mint is cold spicy. That's what I refer to it as.
Spicy. Like, why would you want chocolate and toothpaste? Like, that sounds like the dumbest fucking things to put together. It's just so bad. Oh, I like chocolate mint. I think you're a psycho. That's what I think.
I don't hate it. It's definitely never something where I'm like, oh, I really crave it, but I'll have some of it. It's fine.
Oh, I'll hit it out of your hand. If you hand that to me, it goes right to the ground.
I'm not even letting you eat it. If I see you eat it, it's going
here.
Fucking chopped like a linebacker trying to cause a fumble.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. When I go through the flavors of the ice cream, I hammer fist where the chocolate mint is. Like, get this out of here. I hate it. That shit.
I don't even shop at your place if you serve it. I don't want it near my food. All right. So Tom, after the trios champ beat the shit out of Nick.
No. But here's the thing that all this started from. I've noticed that every time Powerhouse Hobbs has been wrestling, they ask Taz, how's Hook? They did it last night.
Where's Hook? Yeah.
Now, again, it could just be people are expecting that Hook would be in this. They probably don't know why Powerhouse Hobbs is in this. So let's put it here. Or it could be my, secret mission plan is that maybe it was Powerhouse Hobbs that took him out so that Powerhouse Hobbs could take that spot. And Hook is pissed because you could do it a couple different ways.
So so Hook starts coming back, but he's stinging it a little bit, right? And he's not necessarily in the rafters, right? But he's hanging in the corner by the thing with the hood up.
Yep.
Maybe eating a chip or two. We're like, what the fuck? Why is Hook not going out there and hanging with the buddies, right? And then he comes out and fucks the ops shit up, right? And he's like, you guys sold me out for him? And they're like, what are you talking about? And then fucking Powerhouse can be like, yeah, I fucking did it. What?
Uh-huh.
Right? Like, yeah, I took him out. You know, you're better with me. You weren't going to win those fucking titles without me than him. Right? And then the ops got this like, oh, what do we do now? Right?
You're right. And then they beat up on Hook.
Could, yeah. Like, so then they could go a couple different ways. Now we got Powerhouse Hobbs
Yeah.
versus the ops, or like the ops versus Hook. Yeah.
Yeah.
Go many ways with this.
And
I
then you
I
can
hadn't even considered this idea. I mean, I had noticed that like they were asking him, but yeah, I just kind of
I've noticed it both times. I was like,
I just kind of
that's
defaulted
weird.
to like it's going to be Hook being jealous, but yeah, it could be that like Hobbs took him
Or
out.
it could be that Hook is jealous, right? It could be.
It could be Samoa Joe orchestrated it. He's like, look, I didn't have the heart to tell you, and Taz, I didn't want you to get pissed off and and come fight us during the match or whatever, you know.
Yeah, it was never the Death Riders. It was us. I mean, could be fun, but yes, the trios match, the ops, they take out the three faces, and then we get Samoa Joe talking that shit on Jon Moxley because the Death Riders do come out. They're beating up on all the ops individuals. They do the, I don't know what it was. It was like a stomach gut punch kind of thing where Shibata landed on the stomach on the chair. But I think it was supposed to be that neutralizer that Cesaro, or that not Cesaro, but that Claudio does. But it was just on a chair, so it looked weird.
Yeah.
Anyhow, Samoa Joe is like, hey, you motherfuckers. Moxley, seems like every time you say you want to fight me, I'm here, and I think you're a son of a bitch.
You run away. You ain't here.
Yeah.
Yeah, you ain't there.
And so how about we do this? Let's get all these other people out of this business here, and it's me, you, for that title, but now it's in a steel cage. What do you think about that?
Interesting little thing, because this is a new fight between Samoa Joe and Jon Moxley in some essence, right? So usually you don't ramp this up to steel cage right away. But there is some believability in that, like, Moxley, your goons are always fucking with you. So, you know what I mean? Like, we can just call it out. But Tom, you're getting giddy over here. I see you.
Oh, that's it. Because this is it. 2 weeks in Chicago. You're going to get the Death Riders, right? So you're going to have Yuta climbing up on the thing. He gets pushed off. All the people
crowd raining down Yuta sucks chants.
And everything falls to the wayside. Samoa Joe hits the Bronco Buster. Instead of pinning him, he's like, I'm going to climb out that cage. And he goes to climb. And then, wha-boom! And Hook shuts the fucking door on Joe's head. And it was like, you're a fucking bitch. And then, like, now we find out that whole thing.
Sold me out for Hobbs. I could have told you he's a bum, right? Like, just fucking.
Look at him over there. He's laying there in his own blood. I'm the best one here. And then you could do Samoa Joe, Hook at Double or Nothing or wherever. Yeah. Because then you can get Hook and have his little stable, right? You can get him grab two guys. I don't know who it could be, but like, because it depends on how you want to say it. Because Hook could be the good guy, and you can grab Mark Briscoe and, you know, another babyface kind of guy. Speedball Mike Bailey, right? Or you could have him be the heel, and then he grabs two guys from Don Callis' family, and it's the dump truck, the guy with the fat ass, and Lance Archer. You know what I mean? We can do that too. Call him the old dump truck.
Yeah. Sweet
big
cakes.
Dumper.
Sweet cakes, Marco. There.
Yeah, the big dumper. All right, so yeah. At Beach Break in 2 weeks in Chicago, Moxley, Samoa Joe for the championship in a steel cage. Then we go to a pre-taped interview, and it's Renee talking to Mercedes Moné. And this is nothing crazy. Just, I've been here for a year. Look at all I've done. Those are all my belts. She does mention one thing that was interesting. It was like, hey, you remember the last Double or Nothing? I became the TBS champion. And look at me now. I'm still the TBS champion. And then she's talking about, like, then I'm going to add this title. I can't lose to Jamie Hayter, who dresses like Scooby-Doo, which is kind of fun. And there we go.
It kind of hit me last night. So, you know, we've complained that, like, she doesn't feel like there doesn't feel like an authenticity in her promos like this, in her interviews, right? And the way in her speaking style, right? That her acting is bad. And I think it's something I encountered in some of the early voice acting things and in radio. It's whenever she's practicing these and memorizing these lines and everything, she is focused way too much on making sure each word sounds the coolest, best way it should sound instead of just speaking in a fucking sentence like you do, right? Like, so that's where like and then I was the first woman in AEW to come in here and lay down 4 bitches and win a title, right? Like it's
a great
that
call.
kind of broken speech that isn't real because like you've practiced the way you think each thing and like it's just not a real conversational flow, and it's hard for me to buy in and care, right? Because I can't suspend my disbelief when I'm like, nobody talks like that.
But you would talk like that if you're anxious or nervous or not confident in what you're saying, because you are, like, to your point, you want to say every single word so that no one misunderstands that you said. Did you say, this word instead of that word? Like, oh God, I got to do it again.
Memorized a whole diatribe for an interview like this. An interview is supposed to be conversational, right? Like this one, like promos, I guess some extent, that you might have practiced in the mirror, you know what I mean? And said, but like this thing with Renee, it shouldn't have sounded like that.
Right. I agree. But Mercedes going to take on Jamie Hayter at Double or Nothing. We'll put a pin in that. And we'll get to it in
but
just
even
a second.
at that, like even the context of what she said, I mean, fine, but it's nothing we haven't said. I really am anxious to do something now with Monet. I know we're going to do more with Monet on the next thing here, but like her character, even with what, she's going to engage in here soon, is still, it's the same note that we're just playing over and over again for several months now.
I agree. But before we get to that, we do another interview with Renee Paquette. This time she's talking to the patriarchy, and they're just saying their shit. And before they could really even say anything of note, Jay Lethal walks up and was like, hey, how about I'm the longest reigning Ring of Honor TV champion. You're the youngest. Why don't we figure this shit out? And Nick Wayne goes, I'm about to go to Japan. I'm not really dressed. Like, I don't really want to do this. And then Christian Cage goes, he accepts.
Yeah.
And Jay Lethal's like, great. And then Nick Wayne looks at Christian Cage like, hey, man. And Christian just goes, whoop.
I watched this one back a couple times because I wanted to check everybody's reaction, right? So he gets so first of all, Christian's like, he's like, I want to make sure everybody runs decisions by. He's like, and then he looks at me, he's like, Jay Lethal, right? And Jay Lethal's standing there like, hey, right? So that was a good touch. But then, he's challenging him, right? And Christian's just kind of like looking at him, kind of like, you fucking nerd, right? Like whatever. But you see the mom and Kip Sabian looking over at Nick Wayne like, oh, what are you gonna do? And as soon as he starts saying like, I'm not warmed up and whatever, they're kind of like, yep. But Christian's still just sitting there like fucking looking at him like he's disgusted, right? So they're all hitting their notes, right? And then as soon as he fucking like just grabs that mic and he's like, he accepts, right? Like they all flip and fucking like Kip Sabian and the mom look at each other, and then they like look back at Nick Wayne, they looking at Christian, and Jay Lethal immediately like right before Christian kind of grabs the mic, you see Jay Lethal even not believing what the fuck Nick Wayne is saying. He even like kind of looks over at Christian and he's like, the fuck is this jackass doing? Right? Like, you backing down from a challenge, right? And so, like, all of that played out fucking great, right? And then he told him, he was like, you want to be a fucking champion? Get your head in the game, right?
Yeah.
Are we seeing this, like, are we getting the Christian eventual face turn? Are they going to cut him out of this family and we're going to get the E and C run?
Yes. I think that's where we're going.
Christian is such a great father, as Darren K83 says.
Yeah. Tough love. Tough love.
No, he said, hey, man, you don't back down from a challenge, right? If you're a champion, you're a champion. This guy challenged you.
Yeah, I'm going to challenge you at 1:30 in the morning. Dead
beat this old man? Look at his gray hairs.
Yeah, and his beard, because he's bald. Another bald guy, Jay Lethal. Poor guy.
A lot of bald.
It was. Okay, so then we get an AEW Women's World Title Eliminator match. And it's the greatest wrestler in the world, Toni Storm, versus Miyu Yamashita. Nailed it. I do like that they told us that Miyu is actually the shit because she beat Thunder Rosa in a title eliminator. She's the like main person in her division for the Stardom, I think it was, for her wrestling promotion. And so like, what's up, bitches? She's here to fight. And Toni Storm, 9-0 in world title eliminator matches. So you think, well, eventually she might have to lose one of these. So could tonight be the night? Spoiler, it's not. Tony
It's not.
Storm does the wrestle, wins. What'd you think of the match?
Uh, there was a spot where she has Tony Storm with her like ass sticking out of like a ring post from the corner, and she's like kicking it over and over again. And Luther gets in there, and he's like, "What the fuck?" And she just like tosses Luther aside. She's like, "Fuck!" Like another real quick. She's like, "Fuck." That was good stuff. But yeah, never did I think she was gonna win this thing, right? Like this was just another exposure spot for them, and that's great. I like that they do that. Tony Storm though is always in the character to the fullest fucking max.
The best. We even get her at the TCM movie festival, where she's at the Turner Classic Movies, doing the whole thing. Apparently she got a picture with George Lucas, the creator of Star Trek,
Star
Wars. Knew it. Duh.
Yeah.
Everyone knows.
Sci-fi. Yeah. But yeah.
The stars. He owns all of them. The War of the Stars.
They're warring in the stars.
Yeah. War of the Stars. Things. We all know it by that name.
Yep.
George Lucas. So yeah, that was
the trick
fun.
Is when they all wear the same kind of suit, right? That's the trick.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. The Wars is where they got like the bears and the robots and the.
Yep.
Yep.
That's all I know. I've never seen it, but I know the voice of the.
Yeah. Yep. Stormtroopers can't hit shit, like that kind of stuff, right? Yeah. That's all I really remember.
Man, the 70s, their action movies, no one could shoot in the 70s.
Nothing. Couldn't shoot nothing. Couldn't hit nothing.
Every Charles Bronson movie, every James Bond movie, just no one can shoot this motherfucker. Isn't that crazy? He's not even hyperventilating. He's just driving the car to the next place. He's
literally just hanging from a rope off a helicopter, and you can't 25 feet away. You can't.
No.
International criminals, you are.
So again, it was great to see that she's in her element. Again, more wrestlers need to do this, because going back to WWE just for a quick second, you want to know another reason why they're kind of killing it right now? It's because every fucking week they got someone very popular in their shit. I saw a clip of Burt Kreischer chokeslamming Austin Theory.
Yeah.
You gotta get these people do it. Like, I know he just got eliminated from the playoffs, so maybe now he has some free time, but he's arguably the best basketball player in the world. But get Giannis again. Remember when they're in Milwaukee and Tony Khan couldn't fucking hold his voice?
Yep.
He couldn't say the fucking name. Yeah. It was great. You get that shit. Come, you know what I mean? Like, anyhow. So Tony Storm, she's doing her part. She's out there working the gimmick. Some of you other motherfuckers need to do that. But going back to this match, she wins the match. As soon as she's ready to celebrate the victory, Mercedes Moné walks out. And she kind of says, after I'm done at Double or Nothing, I'm going to get what I really want.
Beat Jamie Hayter's ass and win the Owen Hart Women's Memorial Tournament of Champions of the night.
Mm-hmm. Part 3.
2025.
Yeah.
For the kids.
Summer edition. And so she says that, and then Jamie Hayter goes, "Oh, check out my plaid pants." I hit you in the back of the head.
Jamie Hayter. Now, the thing is, okay, if you're going to be 70s retro, we got Tony Storm being timeless, right? Like, I'm a little worried about, I mean, I get you're just doing it fashion-wise. You're not saying you're that 70s girl or anything, but, like, sure dressing like Daphne and Scooby-Doo or whatever the fuck, right? Like,
yeah, you know what it really... Oh, if there was ever a heel turn where Luther joins another person, another woman, and turns on Tony, he should join Jamie Hayter and be Austin Powers or Dr. Evil, and she could do the 70s thing still.
Yes.
That would be funny. That would be pretty funny. I'd like that. Look at that. See? Big fucking brain.
Big brain.
Push it all back in.
Yeah.
So much.
So big it hurts.
Yeah. I had a headache before we started. That's
true.
Probably why.
Yeah.
It's right there. What does that mean? I don't know. Probably allergies. I don't know. Something.
I think you should look on WebMD. It's probably cancer.
Brother, I hope. Get ready for that long nap. You know what I mean?
It's WebM definitely cancer. Is what that stands for.
Yes.
Him definitely cancer.
Yes. All right, now let's get into the storyline of the night because a lot of this was good wrestling, but again, light on stories, heavy on wrestling, which can be great.
One thing about that Mercedes Jamie Hayter spot at the end when Jamie Hayter comes out and just like, beats shit out of Mercedes and sends her running away. Tony Storm is just like, just like good on you.
And then she does a dance and starts just frolicking.
She's like, I'd rather like that. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, she was great. All right, let's talk a little bit about the storyline of the night. Like I said, there's more wrestling than storylines, which again sometimes works great. And last night it worked great. But we get the Hurt
if you don't
Syndicate.
have a good story, don't force it, I guess, right?
Exactly. Yeah. And we get the Hurt Syndicate and they walk out and then we do the same basic thing where let's do the thumbs thing again. And so
we hit it a little quicker though, at least.
Yeah. MVP said this. Shelton said this. Bobby, who earlier kind of was like, maybe I should give him a chance, goes, wah, and gives him the thumbs down. And that's when MJF just loses his shit. He's like, Bob, you bald bastard.
Sick of your shit.
Yeah, I'm sick of your shit. Yeah.
I love that though. The first time he called him Bob, he looks at him, he's like, Bob, and the crowd Bob. I just loved it. Couldn't even chant it right. They were just like, Bob. Call him Bob.
But then again,
Lashley might be ruined. He might be Bob forever now. Like
good.
Yeah.
Turn him heel. Maybe that should be the catalyst that gets him kicked out of the Hurt Syndicate is MVP and Shelton are like, you couldn't handle a bad nickname.
We need to pull a WWE and just one name him. He's Bob. He's not even Bob Lashley. He's just Bob.
Yeah, Bob.
Like Cesaro. He's Bob.
Yes. But as you mentioned, he also brings up the bald thing because he's like, how about some Rogaine?
Shelton's bald too, though.
Yeah.
Like, he's sitting right
and MVP is basically, I mean, he's got
balding?
like he's got like a skin fade, but I mean, that's basically bald. And here's where I want your opinion because I got some thoughts. I want your thoughts. So Bob grabs MJF by the fucking mouth, which then MJF becomes cowardly. I wish he kind of didn't do it as much. I wish they kind of would have pulled him apart a little bit, but I get it.
I wish he wouldn't have gone so full piss his pants, right?
Yeah.
A little bit of like, hey, calm down.
Right.
Listen to him, right?
Yeah, but he went
screaming like a young child, right? But I mean, sometimes you just sell it, right?
Yeah, he clearly went into that. But then Bob says, you want to impress me? You hurt somebody. So
he says, we hurt people.
We hurt people.
Yeah.
Where do you think this goes? I got some thoughts on what your thoughts.
I'm going to talk about it for a moment. So he's like, I'm tired of your shit. And he's like, how about some Rogaine, you bald bitch? And MVP is like looking at Bobby, and Bobby's just kind of like taking that in for a second. MVP like turns around, he's like, fucking, and you see Shelton Benjamin starts like loosening his fucking thing, and I was like, oh no, like, which was great, right? Like great business, like, oh well, so this is what's gonna happen then. All right, the guy wanted to get his ass beat tonight. Guess I gotta work. So then he takes him into the corner like that, right? Like fucking shoved up, and he starts fucking doing the thing. He's like, we fucking hurt people. The crowd the whole time is doing the song, right? Like they love it so much. We hurt people. We hurt people, like while he's fucking on guzzling him, right? And yeah, I mean, he's fucking shitting his pants, pisses. They even reference her, like maybe you shouldn't have wore white pants tonight. Great stuff. Loved all that. Yeah, I do think so. MJF's gonna hurt somebody from this, right? So a couple ways we can go. I think you had mentioned I'd seen somewhere, and I don't want to spoil too much of it, so I'll let you speak on it. But does he hurt Hangman in Hangman's quest to win the Owen? Does he hurt random nerd, right? He picks a Mark Briscoe and destroy, like, who's out the door and is ending their like Nick Camarado or something, right? And murders a motherfucker, and Bobby Lashley's like, yeah. Or does he hurt Bobby Lashley? And Bobby Lashley's like, all right, I see what you did, right? Like
that would be the hardest thing, because if he hurts Bobby Lashley, then I don't see how he gets in.
Exactly right. But maybe he just doesn't. Maybe that's where we go with this.
Right. And that could be, right? Because like we've even mentioned, once he's in, then what do you do? Because then It just, I don't know.
I know
Because MJF
it
is
feels
a
like
solo
that would
act.
be the end of it. It feels like we can't then kick him out later and get back to what we were and capture the same fire.
Right. Yeah. Because MJF is a solo act. As much as he's been in the Inner Circle, done the
He's
Pinnacle,
just
did the Adam
he's too big a
Cole.
personality to
Yeah,
be.
he's by himself.
At most, he'd have to be a guy who leads lackeys, right? That are clearly there, right? He needs edge heads or something, right? But
Yeah.
that's stretching it.
Yeah. So I think, again, gut feeling, just because if you recall, I believe last week, when Bobby Lashley, Bob, took the car, the next segment, we try to do an interview with Hangman, and MJF interrupts him and basically says, "You're going to choke in the Owen." Well, check notes. He hasn't choked. So MJF, super jealous of the main character, Hangman Adam Page,
Needs to hurt somebody.
needs to hurt somebody.
He
And
needs to hurt somebody. He's got to do
And
it.
there you go. Yeah. And there you go. Now I was asked, okay, cool. But like, that's in 3 weeks. What do you do? I would then, one, have the same fucking thumbs up thing. And then MJF can just call the bullshit. It's like, can we just, once we get the 3 thumbs, can we just do it then? I'm tired of this bullshit. Like, so that could be 1 week. 2 weeks is he beats up, like you said, Nick Camarado. And then maybe he moves it up and he beats up Mark Briscoe. And they're like, what the fuck?
So, well, just even next week, you just roll into like you could have him in the back. Renee's trying to interview him, and the Hurt Syndicate come by, and they're like, "Make a plan yet? Are you work? You have a business plan yet? Right? Like, and he's like, I'm working on it, right? And they're like, clock's ticking, man. You know what I mean? Something, right? And so that could be as simple as 1 week right there, right?
Got it. I got it. Here's the 3 weeks. Next week, Renee tries to find MJF. Hey, you said, well, what are you going to do from this, Bobby Lashley saying you need to hurt someone? And he goes, I'm glad you're here. Follow me. Cameraman, follow me. And he goes into the locker room trying to hurt somebody and no one's there. And he's like, what the fuck? Like, he's like, what is
Everybody's
everyone?
in catering because there's like a birthday party.
Yeah, exactly. He's like, what the?
That would be the best. He's like, where the hell is everybody? Everybody's over there like singing happy birthday to some producer over on the side. And they're all
Tony
like
Khan.
sharing cake around catering. Yeah, Tony, he's like, are you fucking serious? And then you could even have like, it's Marvez. He's like, are you going to hurt somebody? Right? Like,
yeah.
And they'd be like, shut up, Marvez.
Yes.
Like, yeah.
Well, and that's the thing is you have him go like, I'm going to hurt somebody. And to your point, because then if it's Tony Khan, he can't do it in front of the boss, right? So he doesn't hurt
a whole
anyone.
bunch of people. And right.
And so he gets pissed. And as he storms off, Bobby kind of chuckles at him. Fucking idiot. Told you he wasn't any good.
You
right?
could even have him like, thumbs down.
As he
right?
storms past him.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Have him storm in, right? Hurt somebody, sees way too many people, sees cameras, and Tony Khan. He's like, God damn it, never mind. And then Bobby Lashley's just like, fucking.
Yeah. And then, okay, so that's next week. Then 2 weeks from now, oh, Tim, check this out. If you do it my way, this is so fucking great. 2 weeks from now, he beats up Bandito. Why? Bandito's small. He's not going to move, but he's also not going to move mountains if you did beat him up, right? He's fine. Put a pin in that, right? So he beats up Bandito. Bobby Lashley's like, you beat up a guy who's 4 inches shorter.
Anybody can beat up Bandito.
Yeah. And he just
Chris
beats up a
Jericho
luchador.
beat up Bandito.
and Bobby could even like beat up a luchador. Like, it's not that hard to beat up luchadors, and like just yeets one,
It's gravity.
Yeah. Right. He grabs Commander, and Commander goes flying.
Yeah.
And then in 3 weeks, the week before Double or Nothing, MJF in a act of desperation. Again, the first week he tried to do it, no one was there. Second week, he thought Bandito would do it. That didn't do it. So then the last week before the pay-per-view, first person he sees, well, it's Brian Keith. And so he beats up Brian Keith and da. That's a heel. What the fuck, right? And Bobby's like, well, that was pretty good. But we'll try again, right? Then
he's like,
he goes from this to like, right, just flirting with it, right? Then at the pay-per-view, MJF cost Hangman his shot at the championship. 1, because he's jealous of him. 2, because he has to hurt someone. And 3, it guarantees that Hangman doesn't even get the shot for the championship, right? Well, Hangman says, it's time to kick your ass, right? So he says that. MJF goes to the Hurt Syndicate, was like, hey, am I in? And Bobby Lashley's like, you know what? I'll do it first. Yes. And then MVP's like, oh my God. And Shelton just follows, and so we get 3 thumbs up. Cool. Then the next segment, right? Do a match, then do another segment. Hangman goes, MJF, you get your ass out here. We're having a match right fucking now, right? Obviously can't say fuck, right? We do.
Might.
But we do a trios match of the Hurt Syndicate, MJF, Bobby Lashley, Shelton Benjamin versus Hangman, Bandito, and Brian Keith. You get the fucking Cowboys versus the Hurt Syndicate. Huh? How fucking fun is that? Everyone has been calling for Brian Keith, Bandito, and Hangman to tag. Here's the perfect reason why, because we all fucking hate MJF.
It's a good reason to tag up, I guess.
Yep. And then obviously you get the Hangman and MJF, and you lead that to the Texas show, Double or Nothing. I would do
MJF somehow, hurts somebody and they give him all the thumbs up. And then a month or two down the road, he somehow crumbles them from within. And then as he's standing over Bobby Lashley, who he just freshly beat up, be like, I chose to hurt you, bitch. Right. And then move on to that.
Yes. But at Double or Nothing, or excuse me, not Double or Nothing, All In, this is what I would do. Then you have to have the tag team champions defend their titles. So they're not going to do something all together. So it's going to be Shelton Benjamin, Bobby Lashley versus
tag champs.
Right. Versus, and that's where I would do the EVPs. Then you do MJF versus Hangman. We're in motherfucking Texas. So what do we do in Texas? Texas death match. How could you get any fucking better than the 2 main characters of AEW and the most violent AEW style match in the fucking state that it's supposed to be in?
Big brain.
Big brain, big brain. Boop, 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 boop. Big brain, big brain. Tell me you don't like that. I love it.
Love it. No,
love it.
I love this. I love the possibilities we can go with this, though. And yeah, for my taste, I wish MJF would have dialed back the freaking out a little bit. Right, all the stuff he was saying is fine. Right, like, all right, Bob, made your point. I'm sorry. Listen to Montel. Right, like just cool, like a little cooler. Right. I understand the point was to be scared, but you could,
but not that. Yeah, not that.
Yeah, because you haven't been scared of Bob the whole time. You've been actively poking the bear. You had to expect a little aggression at some point. So to act like, oh my God, what am I going to do now? Like, you felt like MJF had a plan. Like, as long as it's a match, I could handle Bobby Lashley somehow, right? Now, I might not win a fist fight with the guy, right? Maybe that's why he was a little scared there, but.
But yeah, a little too much of the, right? Yeah, I agree. Okay, so we get back into some in-ring action. We get Nick Wayne, who is the ROH World TV Champion, taking on Jay Lethal. And we get a good old wrestle, right? Wrestle. And without any interference, just a straight up victory, Nick Wayne beats Jay Lethal.
It's a big win.
Big win. And Nick Wayne is like, hey, yeah, let's celebrate. Give me that title. And Christian Cage cuts him off. He's like, that's my fucking title. And we think, at least what I did, I thought we were going to do the Luchasaurus thing where I wear the fucking title. You're the champ. It's really me. But we don't. Christian Cage says, I put it on my son. He doesn't say that, but essentially that's what he's doing. And he puts the championship on him, but then storms out. And the other two are like, I guess we go with him.
Well, was he mad? Yeah, right.
Yeah. And Nick Wayne is just left in the ring, kind of like, all right. So.
Yep. That was an interesting little moment.
But because Nick Wayne won straight up clean, I still think Christian Cage is getting kicked to the curb.
Yeah, is Christian Cage upset? Like, did he think he was going to fail at this stuff? And so thereby he was going to like swoop in and be like, see, I told you, but now he's succeeding. So he's like, God damn it.
Right.
I got to teach this kid a lesson if he won't fail.
Yeah, it's because we can still redeem Christian the second he hugs Copeland, right? Like, we don't have to have him be
we don't have to do a whole lot of work.
Out.
Right?
Yeah. The second they hug, all's forgiven.
No,
he's the best.
We kind of want them being heel-ish in some aspects anyway. So
yes, that's the best part. I
want them to be full-blown heels because they're like Christian is one of the best of all time as a heel, and Adam Copeland is just better as a heel, right, than he is as a face.
Yes.
So yeah, but I don't know if we like put them together right now. Christian Cage so hot with this father gimmick that it would feel weird, I think, just having them be both dastardly heels right away, right? And I think we'd cheer it too much. I think we almost have to have a face run out of them when we first.
Well, then they have to be like pricks, like real big pricks.
They could do a quick turn, like they could do that Jericho thing when he comes in. He's like, "Hey, everybody, look, we're here, right? Yeah, fuck you. This isn't about you. This is about us proving we're the greatest of all fucking time, right?" And they just start going on a tear through fucking AEW.
Because the first program that they're going to do is with FTR. That is amazing now, because if you do Father Christian Cage versus Stokely Hathaway.
Big Stoke.
How much fun would that be?
Those fucking verbal jabs back and forth.
Yeah. And then you could just have Copeland and bald FTR doing their little, I'm more father than you are. I love my kids more than you, And then you get hair FTR going, guns. We all guns. And we'll say, hey, chill out,
Yeah.
Right? But we'll see.
Back off, man. I'm protecting myself. Like, okay, all right.
Okay. Yeah. Down. Hey.
Calm down, guy.
This isn't no DQ. Okay.
We got to be. You stole my parking spot. It's all right.
Oh, cool here. Okay. Okay. So then let's get into our main event. It's the men's, semifinal for the Owen Hart Foundation men's tournament champion to then
spectacular
get a championship match in the summer, brought to you by Burger King, that has the Texas onion ring burger with fries and a drink, but it's not Pepsi because no one likes Pepsi. Trademark. Yeah, right. That's one. And so in the match for the I'm kidding. It's the Proto Star.
I'd be really impressed if you could repeat all that back. Say his full name.
Yeah. Yes. Say his full name. It's the Proto Star.
Spot, wherever that was back earlier, we didn't say that spot.
Yeah.
That Don Callis promo, and then when he was like, "Well, you have to," when Cal Fletcher was like, "You have to say my full name," he's like, "Let me do it." He's like, he fucking all freaks out about it. It was great.
Yeah, it was good. And yeah, even Takeshi was like, "Yeah," because that's another thing too. All those egos so far, they all coexist. They're all doing the say his name, But yeah, we get Kyle Fletcher. He's out there with Don Callis and Lance Archer, and they're taking on the Hangman Adam Page. And we get a good old wrestle, except for this one gets even a little more violent because Hangman throws Kyle Fletcher up against that LED screen, cuts his old back up. That was interesting.
Hangman don't play.
He don't. And he's got that perm and he's ready to go. I know. You need to find one and make his hair perm go. Yeah, I like that. What did MJF say about his haircut?
He said, "I love how it makes you look like you found your wife at a family reunion." Yeah.
That's a great line.
The best. Yeah.
That's a great line.
Yeah.
So we're going back and forth, and it looks like maybe Kyle Fletcher might get the victory because Hangman goes for the buckshot lariat. He pushes the ref, low blows him, does the spike suplex, however we're calling it. And we almost get 3 count, but we don't. And then Hangman saying, I can hit my finisher from any fucking place in this ring. From the top rope, just does a front flip, booyakasha upside your head, and then does the traditional buckshot, booyakasha upside your head, and wins. What'd you think of the match?
Match was good here. I thought, again, right mix of violence and a wrestle match for what this was supposed to be, right? But getting Hangman into some violence. The thing that I keep thinking about right now is Kyle Fletcher has gone in a couple years that we've known him here on AWTV, from one of the lackeys to Will Ospreay in a tag team to a fucking star here. This guy is healing out in ways that I haven't seen in a while, right? You want to hate everything about him. He's got the punchable face, but looks like $1 million, right? is just wearing all the stuff to make you hate him, right? It feels early Shawn Michaels, right, with the wardrobe choices, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean, think about it. It went to the so far from they got beat up in the second match of the night, 2-on-1. They lost. Aussie Open lost to MJF.
yeah,
To now, I almost beat the main character of AEW,
yeah.
Hangman Adam
Kyle
Page, in the main
Fletcher,
event.
he's
Yeah.
he's got a hot future, man. That guy's good.
He probably has hot piss too because he's roided out.
Hot.
Allegedly. But yeah, so we get Hangman, and it's going to be Hangman versus Will Ospreay at Double or Nothing. Winner faces, I'm going to assume,
The more
Jon
I
Moxley.
think about it with the MJF thing, that saves us from having to have a real winner here, right? Will Ospreay can win this tournament, but it doesn't make Hangman look bad in a loss here.
Yeah.
They can still have a knockdown, drag out match, and
Mhm.
everybody's like, that was amazing. And then MJF fucking, you dirty bastard.
Yeah. Yeah, you're not going to have. So here's my thought. You're not going to have, in my opinion, Hangman lose straight up. We all love him way too much. That ain't going to be the thing. Now, I don't feel like the audience is as hot as they once were about Will Ospreay, but he's still top of the top, right? He's still up there with all the other baby faces.
Oh, you get in the mid match too, and you get all the crowd going and all the
right, because he's going to do some
they're going to be on him.
flip.
Yeah,
yeah, the flippity
in
flip
the moment they will be.
Yeah,
right.
And so you can't just have him lose straight up.
Nope.
So it has,
and even kind of because what you're saying, they're not as hot. You'd be really detrimental to him right now to have him just lose straight up too. I think.
Yes, and AEW does not typically like the interference finish, but if anyone's going to do the interference finish, it's MJF, right? He's the most
the storylines
WWE
too
guy.
Much to not pull this trigger. It feels like MJF needs to hurt somebody.
Mm-hmm.
These two have been waiting for the wrong moment to pop off between each other. Hangman's kind of stalled in a moment in his will he or won't he find redemption in himself, right? So maybe getting knocked the fuck out might help him along that path.
And here's the other thing that you could do. Again, if you had someone that knows what the fuck they're doing it, here's how you could do it. MJF cost Hangman the match, right? So then at the All In pay-per-view, which he even said a couple months ago, you're going to have Will Ospreay taking on Jon Moxley for the championship. Again, I don't think we're doing the Darby Allin thing, which would be the story for Jon Moxley to end the Death Riders on. However, we got to end it because I think people are getting tired of it. And so Will Ospreay winning it in front of everyone looks amazing. And then he could be like, I'm champion. Well, Hangman just beats MJF in a Texas death match and says, yeah, but did you really earn that shot? Because I was kicking your ass and old hair plugs cost me the match. So I'm kicking your ass this time. And then we could just do round 2 because it's going to be a great match at Double or Nothing. You know what I mean? So whatever that pay-per-view is after All In.
A Bruv belt, right? Or just Bruv, right? That's his unique title belt, right? Bruv. That would sell like hotcakes. Yeah, championship belt that said Bruv, right?
It probably will.
Like a winged eagle, it just says Bruv in diamonds.
Oh, I thought you meant like his nameplate instead of saying Will Ospreay, just said Bruv.
No, remember like the $1 million belt, but it's just big letters, Bruv. Just B-R-U-V in diamonds. Bruv.
Yeah. I think it wouldn't be bad. Because
you would buy that shit.
Oh yeah, I would. But yes. Yeah. Because if you think about it, MJF could lose a Texas death match and then just start again, right? Losses don't affect him anymore like they used to or could have, right? After he got through being the champ, he's kind of, anytime they need it, he'll go right back to it and everyone believes it. So, and if he loses, the Hurt Syndicate is like, I thought we had a winner join our group because I would have the Hurt Syndicate retain their championships at All In over the EVPs. And then, you know what I mean? Go from there. That's what I would do.
Sizzle no steak, pal.
Yeah. Fuck you there, bud. check the record, bud. We didn't fucking want you in this group to start with. Thought you could do
Yeah.
some shit for us and you didn't do a thing except for
Yeah.
make us look bad. And then there you go. They turn on MJF. Then you do MJF, Bobby Lashley. Look, I got it all right here. Boop,
Got it written out. You gotta stop giving these people this for free, Tom.
I know. Patreon, $1 a month. I'll give you every story I got.
One a month. Or $1 a month.
Yeah, $1 gets you one story. No. But that's what I would do. I don't know. What do you think?
No, I like all that. I mean, I think that's really, it's easy to go that route. I think those are all good stories. I don't have other things in mind. So, I mean, I like it.
Yeah.
I like
What
it.
else happened?
I think you're right though. I don't think Hangman, I think Bruv's going to win the tournament and MJF is going to murder Hangman somehow. He's got to hurt him.
Mm-hmm. Trying to take a look to kind of cover any bases that we missed maybe for Collision. The only thing from there was FTR beating the Paragon. So now we're
Yeah.
calling him the Paragon.
Well, we are. I know. And I don't know why that is. It's not good.
It's not a good name either.
It's not.
Just
It's just
you don't have to be a group. Just don't have them be a group. How about that?
Yeah, yeah.
Just have Adam Cole lose the championship to the next person he looks at. And then you don't even have to re-sign the other guys, I don't think.
Yeah.
Right? Aren't we saying that how jam-packed this roster is?
Yeah, look, I didn't notice that Adam Cole wasn't on the card. I'll even say that, like I didn't of Dynamite. So
is anyone realizing that?
Yeah.
He's cold, man. God,
He
he
is.
is ice cold right now. Because
Weird
he's not
how
a
the
good.
winds can change, right?
Well, and also the other thing too that just doesn't work in his favor, similar to Adam Copeland. Adam Copeland can do it better, but he's also not a good babyface.
Yeah.
Like certain people are just better heels.
Yeah.
Adam Cole, there's so many things to make fun of him about. He also doesn't look like anyone you want to be sympathetic towards, right?
Yeah.
And he's not likable, like in that regard. I mean, obviously, if I met him, he'd probably be a
He seems like a nice
individual.
guy, right?
Yeah.
Guy.
But like,
But
he's no one that I want to be or who's like I'm
Yeah.
quoting or anything like that. So
yeah.
I just make him a heel, That's what I do.
Yeah, no,
But
I agree
like-
with you.
But like not the MJF heel, just like completely separate of that. Forget all that bullshit.
Yeah.
Have him do his own like we're taking over kind of thing. You know what I mean? But
Something.
anyhow,
But-
that's our AEW for the
This was
week.
fun.
We got
Yeah, this was
Collision
fun.
back at its regular time on Saturday.
It's on
Speaking
TBS
of-
though, isn't it?
Yes. Is
that this week?
Yes.
Because I think they said like there's just too much basketball in the TNT. They can't guarantee it's gonna.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, there's a shit ton too. I would say the one people that I am missing, I need my Turbo Floyd and youngest men
Tom,
alive.
I been
The
playing
Outrunners.
some NCAA 25 on the PlayStation, and they don't have the real coaches in there, right? So when I started a new dynasty, I needed a coach name. It's Truth Magnum.
Yes,
Truth
Truth Magnum.
So Truth Magnum is coaching the K-State Wildcats right now.
I love it. Yeah, because what's their newest phrase? Hold on, I want to say it
Yeah,
properly.
they said something. Well, because
The
they got
only
beat
way-
up by somebody.
Hurt Syndicate.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we haven't seen them since then. Oh, here it is. They say
No. Recently on TV, somebody beat them up. Just in the back,
Oh.
like in a it was like in somebody else's fucking promo.
Oh, I
Beat
don't
'em
remember
up.
that.
What the fuck was it?
Well, that's the Death Riders who did that, but that was a while back.
No, this was just very recently.
Oh,
Man, I'm forgetting who this was.
ooh, I kind of want to know who that was then, because I can't remember. Let us know in the chat if you know that. But I was gonna say their newest phrase is the only way to succeed is success, or the
Nothing
only
succeeds like success.
Yeah,
right?
nothing succeeds like success. Yeah, I love that. That's great.
Yeah.
They just, if they need to pivot out of being the 80s guys, they should do the like Tony Robbins motivational speaker and just do things like that. Just say that shit
that's
the
true.
entire time.
Yeah, just goofy shit that doesn't really make sense, but like saying pseudo.
Okay. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
You miss 100% of the shots that don't go in. Okay. All right.
Yeah,
I think
right,
that's
Yeah, I think he's like, oh, he said you miss 100% of the shots you don't make.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right. Yeah. I guess that's true. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
But
Love
yeah,
it.
so I kind of miss them.
You know what else I love? I love our fans like Darren K83, who was in the our friends even who like Darren K83, who was in the chat with us tonight. Everybody should join us on the chat while we do the show live on Thursdays. Occasionally we might have to do it on a different night. You stay tuned to allelitewrapup.com. You can subscribe there completely free and find all that out. Hit us up on the Blue Sky. Usually we're there live skating. Neither of us were doing it last night, so sorry. Once in a while we need a vacation, But other than that, we want you to talk to us. Send us emails, aewrapup@gmail.com. If you need advice, if you need life advice, we're here for you. Dear Tim and Tom,
Got
I've
all the advice.
X, Y, and Z problem at work. How do I handle it? Ask us. We're going to read them right here. Begging.
We'll say,
some advice.
we'll say A, B, C. If you got problem X, Y, Z, we got answer A, B, C for you.
Nothing but a history in our past lives of great decisions, level-headed thinking.
Every single time. If you've listened to this podcast long enough, you know that we make the greatest decisions.
We are, we really think things through very well. So please hit us up for advice. aewrapup@gmail.com. Allelitewrapup.com is the website. We'll be back next week for more All Elite Wrap Up.